What is up, Gamer Army? Welcome back to Psycho Gamer. I am your host, Aubrey, and today we are going to revisit some information that was leaked out back in March. We're going to take a look at this GameFly list, and we're going to dissect it a little bit and go over the games that we know that have already been announced and see how accurate this is. And for the hopeful people for the last three cabinets on the list, are these actually going to come out? Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, guys, and stay tuned. We're going to talk about the GameFly list revisited right after this. All right, welcome back, guys. Like I said, we are going to take a look at the GameFly list that was leaked out back in March. How many of these games have actually been announced since this particular list was leaked? Almost everything on this particular list. Now, I actually typed up my own list and kind of made it look all pretty and just took a screenshot. So we're going to switch over into my computer. We're going to take a look at this real quick and see what surprises we have in store for us. All right. So what you're looking at is the list of Arcade1up cabinets that was leaked out back in March. There was only a couple of these games at this point that had already been announced, but a majority of these were not announced. For instance, I'm not sure on the Miss Pac-Man and Super Pac-Man party case. I think they were announced, and I think they had already been released. But when this list was announced and leaked, the Couchcade had not been announced yet. There was a picture or two kind of floating around that got leaked out, but they came out at about the same time. I think it was either the same day or maybe a couple of days after this list was leaked out. Now, many of you are asking, well, what is this GameFly list? Back in March, GameFly.com, if you are not familiar with them, they are one of the first companies that actually had the ability for you to rent actual video games from them. Starting back in the early 2000s, you know, it was a little controversial at the time, but it was a really cool idea. They were kind of like an online Blockbuster for video games is really what it was. And they had it where you can pay a flat rate for the month, and then you can basically rent a game, one or two games at a time. You send it back, they get you another game, you know, things like that. It was really good for people that didn't have $60 for every single game that came out, or $50 in many of the early years of your PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 type games. Now, fast forward to 2022, yes, they are still around. They are still doing the same thing, except obviously the games are much more expensive with your PS5 and your Xbox Series X type games, teetering instead of around your $50, $60 range, your $60 to $70 range. In some cases, depends on the game, and it also depends on, you know, obviously collector's type editions. Generally, I don't think they have the collector's editions, but you have the ability to go on their website and actually purchase these games. So these are going to be some titles they actually had for possible pre-order or for upcoming titles. So some of the ones that we have seen, obviously the Atari Couchcade, the Golden Tee 19 Arcade. So that was the Golden Tee XL, the 3D arcade. You have the Pac-Man Couchcade, was announced at the same time as the Atari Couchcade. The Centipede Atari Legacy Arcade1up just got announced for pre-orders. So that's something that is now available to pre-order. Same with Pac-Mania. I don't know about you guys, but so far this list is looking pretty tasty. You have the Joust Collectorcades. Those were just shown off and announced just the past month or so. Mortal Kombat 30th Anniversary Edition Legacy. Just did a video for that, and just in case you did not read my little type-up on that particular cabinet, there were a couple changes with the pictures after I had recorded the video. They added a little piece just above the riser, and it actually made the sticker kind of go up. No, they did not add the Johnny Cage picture on the side of the cabinets due to licensing restrictions. Not even Midway is allowed to use it because the guy who was the actor or model portraying Johnny Cage there sued Midway for doing things like this. So they pretty much erased him off the side. You can probably get them through third-party dealers, like you're going to have many dealers that will be doing it, so you can get a more authentic look if that's what you want. Mortal Kombat Swivel Stool. I haven't seen that one, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be available. Now, being that that's such a high-priced one, I think that's the one that's got the back on it, and it actually moves around instead of just sitting in one spot like your typical ones that go for about $80. Pac-Man Collectorcade. So we know that's actually been announced. You got a Pac-Mania Swivel Stool and the Street Fighter Swivel Stool. Most likely those are going to be directly on their website, so you can get those from Arcade1up in general. NBA Shaq 19-inch arcades. That's going to be the XL Shaq NBA Jam edition. You got your Street Fighter 2 Champion Turbo Legacy. I have not seen that one. Not yet. Miss Pac-Man head-to-head countercades, Miss Pac-Man Legacy. I think those are a couple that I'm not familiar with them actually showing off. I have seen, well, I've seen the Miss Pac-Man and Galaga ones. You got a Pac-Man Galaga head-to-head countercade, Pac-Man 5 games in 1 countercade. So those are a couple of countercades that I haven't seen yet, but maybe I haven't been looking for them. Now, the 3 last games are the ones that everybody is waiting for them to actually announce. Now, could they actually be announced this week during the convention that's actually going on right now down in Florida? Maybe, possibly. I have not seen anything yet. My friend Robert hasn't mentioned anything to me about them yet. So, could Marvel vs. Capcom get announced at EVO? That's a good possibility too. NFL Blitz, I'm not sure what would be the best venue for them to actually unveil or announce that they have the NFL Blitz license to be released. So these are the 3 questionable ones that the rest of us are actually waiting on. Are these really going to come out? I'm pointing towards yes. There's people, and many people are actually revisiting this list as well, but we're just going to have to see what happens. I think that we're going to see some information within the next month or two about these particular cabinets. Now, you start looking at these release dates here, 10/15, 11/15. There's plenty of time for them to build up hype, official hype, as opposed to just a list online that some guy made in his special game room. Not pointing my finger at me or anything. But it's also a matter of what games are we going to see in these cabinets? I mean, you got so many Time Crisis games that you can fit on this. What is the quality of the pedal going to be like that's going to actually have you duck and cover and pop up and shoot? What games are going to be on Marvel vs. Capcom 2? I mean, I'm saying Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2, X-Men versus Street Fighter, maybe that the X-Men fighting game. You know, there's so many games that they could put on there. So what games do you want to see on these cabinets? What do you think they're going to put on the NFL Blitz Arcade? Now, $5.99 isn't a bad price for these 2 cabinets. I can see the Time Crisis being more expensive because of the technology they got to put in there when it comes to the pedal and the light guns. But in terms of that, I can see these ones. Now, NFL Blitz Arcade, I think they had, 2000, 1999, and a couple of previous years, and then that's when they've lost the rights to making these games when EA swooped up and bought the license for like 20, 30 years. Hopefully, we can get that fixed. So, that's going to do it, guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is going to be a big thing? Do you think this list is legitimate? If you guys have seen a couple of these things maybe I've missed, post it below. I have no problem being told, hey, you missed something. So I appreciate you guys coming out once again. And as always, leave a comment below. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, as always, guys, so you know exactly when I got more videos coming out, such as tonight. And until next time, guys, game on.